welcome to this Hour of AI overview for teachers. I am going to show you where all the resources are and give you a bit of a walkthrough of the Hour of AI. So this is really exciting. This is just been released for Computer Science Education Week and really fun, whether you've used Minecraft or before, or you're new to Minecraft, or your students are new to Minecraft or coding or AI. There's plenty here to guide you through. I am Steven Payne. My name's Steven Payne. I am in Perth, Western Australia, and I work with schools on all sorts of using technology for learning. And one of the things I do quite a lot with is Minecraft. So I have brought with me today my Minecraft torch, and we're going to need this later in the game. And I am going to guide you through these resources. If you're joining us live, feel free to put any questions in the chat. I'll monitor that as we go. And I know quite a few people have asked for the recording afterwards, so we'll send this to people that have registered and make it available to any teachers worldwide who might want to run an hour of AI. So thanks again for coming. I'm going to show you a few different resources. I've got them all pinned here, and I'll play a little bit of the game as well so you can see what you're signing up for. So first of all, I'm just going to show you this guide, which is about how to lead an hour of AI. And this is available for you to download from the Minecraft website. In fact, all of the resources I am going to be using today can be accessed from one site. I've put that in the chat, but I'll also send a follow-up email with all of the resources. So what we're going to do today is have a look at Minecraft Education the first night. And the whole idea of this game or this activity is to spend your first night in Minecraft. And that's something that people do when they first open Minecraft. One of the first tasks is to try and last the first night. So you've got to go and gather resources and craft tools and then actually build a house. But this time we're actually going to do this with the help of AI agents. So rather than just going and building a pickaxe or mining coal or shearing a sheep, we're going to actually help train these agents to do this. So we're going to look at different ways that you can use AI, and it's introduced in a really fun way. So some of the things that you'll need to do to run this is, first of all, install Minecraft Education. If you're licensed for it via your school, then no problem. You can just go straight in, log in with your school emails and access the world. But even if you're not licensed, anyone can download Minecraft Education and play a number of worlds, one of which is the Hour of AI. So you don't need a license, you just need to have Minecraft Education installed. So take the Facilitate the Hour of AI course. That's kind of what we're doing now. I'm going to show you the Educator guide. I'm going to give you an introduction to the playthrough. I'll skip through a few bits, and which is always grateful for teachers, there is a solutions guide. So what I'm looking at now is the Facilitator guide. So it's kind of, this is how you might run a lesson with your students. Introduce the theme of the lesson. There's some great questions you can ask to get going. There's a trailer, which I'll play in a second. There's presentation slides. And the way it's kind of structured, and the way I do this when I work with students, is I will generally introduce the topic, ask questions, see what they know about Minecraft, see what they know about AI and coding and that sort of thing. And I'll go through the first activity with the students together, which normally takes about 10 minutes. And the students play along with me on their devices. We then let the students go off and complete activities themselves within Minecraft. There is some great reflection. There are some great reflection questions that you can use as well. And also, there is a series of like quiz questions you can ask students as well. So This is kind of a facilitator guide that talks you through what you might introduce to your students. What do you think a robot or AI can learn to do? Have you ever used AI? What would you like to train an AI on to help you complete something, save you some time, or do something that is difficult for you? So it's all about surviving the night in Minecraft, and I'm sure there's plenty of students who can do that well. So I'm going to come on in a moment and show you the actual PowerPoint that's provided for you. But just before that, I'm going to set the scene by playing a short intro. It's just about a minute long. Here we go. This kind of sets the scene.
Agent has these little helpers that can do anything you tell them to. If Agent gives them a task and tells them how to do it, they'll find a way to complete the job. Kinda neat, huh? But what if the job was bigger and more difficult? For example, with your help, could Agent use the helpers to get through that first night in Minecraft? Where would you start? Wood, right? The helpers need to learn what wood is. This is wood. And this is too. Oh, but that's not. Minecraft Education invites you to an hour of AI where you get to use your very own little AI helpers while reliving that exciting first night in Minecraft. Code your way through puzzles and creative challenges, solving problems using prompts and critical thinking. Look at that, nice HUD. And you didn't forget anything, did you? Go to aka.ms/hour of AI to do this free and fun challenge today. Good luck. And good night.
The link that I've just shared in the chat takes you to this page, which is the Minecraft Hour of AI homepage. And on this page, you've got everything that you need. So I'm just going to kind of highlight where everything is. There's the trailer we just saw. And then down here, a little bit about getting the app. So you can download directly from this page as well. And then there's a whole lot of resources. So there's the trailer video we just watched. I showed you a bit of the facilitator's guide, but the ones that are going to be most useful in your classroom are the actual lesson plan. And again, on here, you've got a kind of way that you can structure the lesson, key questions to ask, that sort of thing. So bit more information there, and then there's other worlds that you can explore once you've done the first hour of AI. So if I go to the lesson plan, if you've ever done any activities from Minecraft Education, they all have a very similar layout. It tells you a little bit about the activity, what subjects, age ranges, and this is actually available in lots of different languages. And then if we scroll down, we've got Welcome to Minecraft's Hour of AI. It talks a little bit about what the game is about, what we're trying to cover with the students, and then how you can prepare. So it tells you how to get set up, all the things I've just covered. It tells you what the main themes are, how can fundamental AI concepts help us code the agent to plan and execute tasks. And then it goes through core concepts, what the students will actually go through, and basically you're doing these things to make it through the first night. You're collecting wood, you're making tools, and so on, but you're actually going to do it much quicker because you've got the agents to help, and the agents are going to learn along with you. So rather than just you coding, the agents can actually make predictions and suggestions as well. There's a few more resources there that you can check out, but what I am going to show you are the all of these. You've got an educator guide, which is a PDF that basically goes through everything in so much detail you can't really get lost. And then there's presentation slides that I'll normally adapt with the students. There are solutions. So whether you're using block coding or Python, you can see the solutions to every single task there. And then we've got an AI build challenge. So at the end of the game, when the students have completed all the tasks, they get some options. And one of those is a build challenge. And there are various options there for activities depending on the student's age range and experience with Minecraft. So there's a few other bits and bobs there. But the main thing you'll need is the educator guide, just to give you an overview of the whole activity, and then the presentation slides that I'm going to show you now. So if I come into the education presentation here, this is the PowerPoint, and you don't need to use it all with the students, and you can adapt it. It's free to download and adapt to your situation. So we've got the discussion questions at the top. We've already looked at those. What we'll be doing today. So these are kind of the learning outcomes. And then there's some great concepts that you're going to be introduced to or explore in more depth as you play the game. So we're going to be learning about artificial intelligence. We're going to learn about classification. So we're going to help the agent work out what the different blocks are. So are they an ore? Are they a wood? Those sorts of things. And then finding patterns. So an AI can work out whether things are similar, and then working together. So it's not just an agent working autonomously or a human, you're working collaboratively. And always important is for humans to help the AI by checking their work and reinforcing correct decisions. So there's lots of that within the game. I won't show you everything here, but it basically just goes through how you start the world. I'll show you this live rather than just go through the PowerPoints, what the tasks are that the students need to do. And we'll see within the game, there is actually a Minecraft book, which has got all of the instructions and recipes for how you make a pickaxe, for example. And then it's got step-by-step examples here. So the first task is to collect some wood. And what I would suggest doing with a class is go through this first activity of collecting wood all together. And it's details you can tick off maybe on a whiteboard as you do the different tasks. And then you go into making tools. I would leave the students to make the tools, build a shelter, make a door, add torches for light, and then make a bed, which is the final task. And if we've done that right, we can survive the night. So that's kind of the presentation that you've got. And then you'll see at the end, there are there's some information about creating your own Minecraft agent in a build challenge. And it goes through kind of the decision-making process or the design thinking process, which I think is really useful. So lots of great resources there that you can take and adapt for your class. The other thing that you have before I show you the, before we go into the game, is the Educator handbook. So rather than a presentation for students, this is more for teachers. So this just goes into a lot of detail about the vocabulary you'll be using, curriculum standards for different countries and states, and so on. So if I just scroll down and show you a few things there, we've got some curriculum standards, how to prepare for the lesson. And what's quite useful for teachers is there's a visual glossary. So these are all of the blocks and resources that we'll see in the game. And I'm sure a student can tell you straight away that that's birch and that's a wooden axe and so on. But this is really useful to refer back to for teachers, but also for those students who perhaps have not had that much experience with Minecraft. So that could easily be printed out and made available as well. So those are all the resources we'll use today. And then it just goes through how to sign in, how to get started, and it goes through each of the different activities in turn. So a great resource there. There's lots and lots of pages, I think 45 altogether. And if I go down to slide 44, you've got a kind of a quiz sheet that you can check for students' understanding. So there's some information there. What have you learnt? How can AI help you in real life? Do you understand these words? When did we use this in the game? So a really nice sort of reflection tool as well. And again, you can adapt that to your own purposes. The other resource I'm going to show you there is the solutions guide. So whether you're using blocks or coding, which uses Python in Minecraft, you get the solutions for each of the tasks. So if a student is struggling or a teacher is struggling, you can always go back and check the solutions. So that's all included as well. And like I said, all of that is available from the Hour of AI website that I showed. Fantastic. You do get, if you manage to complete the game, you can follow the link to a certificate, enter your name, and you'll get a printable certificate that you can use. And this is hosted on the code.org webpage, which is hosting lots of Hour of Code activities from different companies, Minecraft being one of them. And there's also a sticker you can download. You can use that as a digital sticker or print that out as well if you want to have that available. So those are basically the resources that are available to you. Again, I'm going to send all those out to you in an email and showing when you'll use them. But what I'm going to do now is just go straight into Minecraft and talk through kind of the key things on getting set up. So if you've got any questions about the resources, just throw those in the chat or email me if you're watching this after the event. And I'm just now going to open up Minecraft Education. And in fact, as I'm talking to you, I'm just going to go into the settings so I can actually hear myself and you can hear me. And so I just click settings and I'm going to audio, and I can either bring the music down or the sounds, like when you're chopping a block of wood from a tree, or in fact, I can bring all of the music right down. And that's also quite useful if you've got a whole class of laptops or iPads with music going off at different times. Sometimes it's useful just to have the audio off or down. So that's a useful thing. Go into settings and change the audio. I've actually just logged on to Minecraft. That's me, Steven Payne. And because I've logged into Minecraft, I can go straight in and play. In the middle here, you see new and featured. So any of the recent releases, they normally have the last 8 or so. We can see there's one that has appeared since I last logged in, Planet Pigeon. I'll go and explore that after today. But you'll see down there, Hour of AI, the first night. But if you don't see it there, you can just search the library, type in Hour of AI, and you'll find that resource. So you'll see Escape Estate, that was a previous Hour of Code Generation AI. These are similar activities from previous years, but we're going to go in and have a look at the first night. Okay, again, the trailer is there. So how do students get to this? They can get there in the same way. They can just log on to Minecraft Education and click on new and featured and access the world. Or you can actually share the link if that's easier. So you can just copy that link and share it out however you share digital resources with students. And you can also share directly to Teams, Google Classroom, or to an email. So you can do that, but students can just log in and click Create World. And that's what I'm going to do. Ages 8 to 18. I'm slightly older, but I'm going to give it a go. So depending on how many students you've got and your bandwidth speed, it might take a couple of minutes to load. And I'm using a mouse and keyboard, so I'm going to be using those controls, but you can also use this on a touch device such as an iPad, and you'll just use the on-screen controls. Really easy. Students can help each other. So I'm going to click the right mouse button to start. And I'm going to choose here whether I use blocks or Python. And I would always suggest, unless you've done quite a lot of work with Python, is to start with blocks. So even if you're really experienced with Minecraft, the Python is actually quite tricky in this version of the game. So students are welcome to try it if they've got some experience with Python, or it might be worth just going through the blocks one quite quickly and then trying the Python one afterwards. You can't switch within the game. So if you choose Python and want to go back to blocks, you've got to delete the game and start again, delete that actual world. So I'm going to go into blocks to start with, and that's my recommendation for most people. Okay, so you can see here, please use the buttons to select a skin. So the skin will just be the character that I'm playing with in this game. I'm going to choose this one. And then you get a short little video that kind of introduces the world. So how do I get through the first night is what the agent is asking. Actually, if I'm presenting this in a class, I might keep the music on for now because it's a bit more dramatic than just leaving it silent. But you can see here the sorts of things that we'll be doing within the game. We'll be chopping down trees, collecting wood. We'll be creating a crafting table and then using that to make planks and building and all of that great stuff. How do I light up a room? Ah, I've got some coal and now I've got a torch. Fantastic. How do I make a bed? So these are all things that you're going to learn. And it takes, depending on how the students work on this, it normally takes between 25 and 45 minutes, depending on how many times you go wrong or the speed that you work at. Ah, there we go. I need a door to keep me safe. Quickly. There we go. And I can have a nice night's rest. So now the actual game is loading after that short introduction. And everything is explained as you go through the game. So nice and easy for students of all abilities. So it says here, step 1, collect wood, punch a tree. The other thing you'll notice, particularly if you're new to Minecraft, is down in the bottom left-hand corner, it says H control tips. So if I press H on my keyboard, it shows me how I can go forward, back, etc. Okay, I'm not finished yet. I'm going to just hide that and go and punch a tree. Ah, the agent has joined the game. Okay, so let's interact with the agent. Okay, I won't go through all of the text, but I will just point out if you need some support with the reading, there is an immersive reader wherever there's text. So this little tool here will actually load an immersive reader and you can have this read out loud to you. And you can also change various features such as translate and listen to the instructions in different languages. So quite a useful little tool there if you need that, but I'm just going to leave that for now. And so the agent is just introducing themselves, telling us a little bit about AI. If you're introducing this to a class, you might stop and check that they understand the concepts. I'm just going through this quickly so we can get to the game. So the current goal is on the right hand side there, collect wood, and it's actually telling me how to punch a tree. There we go. So I can go and find a tree and punch it. I'm just holding down the left button and I've now collected wood. My next goal is to collect a lot of wood, and that might wear me out. So I'm going to see if I can make that process a little bit easier with the help of an agent. So the book says, step 1, collect wood, find a tree and break the logs, collecting the wood that drops. It's not very hard, but it's time consuming. So this is introducing the concept of an agent being able to help us with that task. But the agent needs to know what wood is. So we're now going to train the agent, and because there isn't actually a block called wood in Minecraft. So we're going to teach the agent that an oak log is actually wood. So when it's given the instruction to collect wood, it knows what to do. Now I know that oak log blocks are wood, I can help you collect some. There we go. And this is so cute. The agent's got these little mini agents that can follow those instructions and go off and collect lots of wood for us. Now we've trained the agent into knowing what wood is. Fantastic. We're going to need more than that. There's still more wood out there. So now the agent's actually been fairly clever and said this item over here also looks like wood. So it's asked us to if the agent is correct. So now if we come up here, those blocks are similar. So it's found blocks that are similar, and we can now say that yes, you can classify birch as wood as well. Great. It spotted an algorithm, and away we go. So we can now send off the mini agents to go and collect all of that wood. Fantastic. So it's a very linear kind of game. There's not a lot of exploration. It's all about following things in a set pattern. You'll notice in the bottom left-hand corner of my taskbar, on cell 1, there's the player's guide to the first night. So that basically tells us how we craft, so how we can make logs, how we can make planks, sticks, stone, pickaxe, doors, all of those things. So those are all kind of recipe cards that we'll be using later in the game. So I'm going to go and find the agent. And I think we'll just do one more activity here. And I think he's found another type of wood, which is acacia. And he's correctly thought that that is wood, and we have confirmed it for him. Here we go. So that's the first task done, almost. We've collected wood, and we can then use that wood to make various tools and so on. And all of the instructions are introduced in a similar way. So we'll just get this little bit done. Okay. Step 2 is making tools. So what I'll do is I'll just pause there, and I'm going to just go to a video I made earlier and just point out a few of the key areas of the game, and then I'll share a few more resources to finish off. So I'm just going to pause that for now. Let me do this properly. If I do need to pause in the middle of a game, I can press escape. If I click finished, that will actually take me to the certificate of completion, but I'm not going to cheat and get that. I'm just going to say exit lesson, and that will actually be uploaded to my OneDrive so that I can go back and pick up from where I was later on. So if I haven't got enough time to do it, that's just going to save it, and next time I go to play, it'll be in my worlds, and there it is. I can go back and complete that. Great. I'm now going to minimize that and come back to a video. So I've just fast forwarded a little bit, and I'm going to just point to a few key things that I think are useful. So we have used the wood to make some planks and sticks, and once we've got planks and sticks, we can make tools. So this is going to kind of show us how we can use the crafting. So the agent doesn't yet know what tools are. So we can actually go in and we can use the recipes that are in the recipe book to actually make an axe, a pickaxe, and a shovel. And once we've shown the agent how to do this, the agent can go off and make those tools as well for all of its agents, and we can get things done much quicker. So it's now got a structured process for making tools. And again, we can go into the coding and we can actually show how to make the different tools by saying what resources we need. So we need woods and sticks, and then we use the grid pattern. I'm sure students will know this, but if they don't, they can find that in the recipe book as well. So we then go on and make all the different tools. And then once we've done that, we can actually go and mine for different types of ore. So we go and get coal ore and iron ore. So I'll just fast forward a little bit. Let's come here, and we're now going to let the agent create a shelter for us. So the agent actually suggests that it's going to make a shelter. So it's actually using, it's learning. We're telling it what tools to use, and it's going to go and build a shelter for us. I'm sure it won't be quite as exciting as the types of shelters that your students could create, but it is much quicker. So there's our agent creating a shelter for us. And okay, I think something's missing. So this is where we can help the agent. We don't have a way to get into our shelter. So we're actually now showing the agent that we need some extra features. So the agent's going to get rid of that, use what it's done, and build on its learning to create a shelter with an opening or a door or a window. And then once we've got our agent, we can go ahead and create torches, particularly as it's coming to light. We can actually see in our shelter, but also torches will help keep the bad mobs away as well. So we've already gone and mined some coal, and we can use sticks and coal and actually create a torch. And what's really cool is the agent uses its agentic brain and actually places the torches where it thinks are most relevant to light up our house. So that's kind of the idea there. I'll just go forward to a couple of other things so you can see what's coming. We then help the agent craft shears so we can get some wool from a sheep. That's always fun when we introduce the animals as well. So again, it's looking at how you make these tools and then training the agent to do it. So the agent's going to go and make some shears. We're going to shear a sheep, and then we're going to make a bed. So you do all of that, and then you spend the night, and right at the end of the activity, there's kind of a summary about the learning that's taken place. So it talks about AI that works on its own with permission and finishes tasks, agentic AI. Another little animation here showing different things. Here you can see the agents working together, and we talk about human verification, checking that the AI work is correct and making changes if it's not right, and so on. So there's a few little animations there, and then you get right to the end. Once you've gone through all those animations, you end up in this nice little activity where students can either go in to the build challenge, which is where they can design and create their own agent, or they can click on one of these pillars and go to a different Minecraft education hour of code or AI activity. So that normally takes around 30 minutes, but it can be a little bit quicker or a little bit longer depending on the students. And then obviously you've got the presentation. You can check their understanding, reflection, and so on. So that's kind of it. That is the Minecraft Education Hour of AI. What I'm going to do now is just talk a little bit about some of the other resources that follow on from this. So if I go over here, Minecraft Education have put a whole lot of worlds together about building digital skills and AI literacy. So the one that we've just looked is Hour of AI, the first night. Don't need to talk about that anymore. And then there's online training that you can complete for teachers. There's some nice little introduction videos. And then as I scroll down, right to the bottom here, you've got different activities that you can use. So for example, this one here, Read Smart, this came out a couple of months ago. This is all about misuse of AI, deepfakes and plagiarism, and you're working alongside a detective to investigate different cases. So if I click on that, you'll see it has a very similar outline. There's a trailer. As I scroll down, we've got the learning objectives, educator guide, presentation. So there's quite a lot of different worlds that you can go and explore AI, coding, and other resources. So if you're looking at computer science, you've got cyber safety, privacy, all of those things. But you can also go and explore. If I go on Teach with Minecraft, I can explore the lesson library, and there's actually loads of worlds for lots of different subject areas. So we can go and look at being an ocean hero. We can go and look at exploring the world through AI and creativity. We can look at planet Earth. We can look at outer space, and you can search by keyword as well. So loads and loads and loads of resources there. So a great resource for teachers. You can go and extend your learning. But for that interactivity with other teachers, something that the Minecraft team have is a Minecraft Teachers Lounge. This is actually on Facebook now. And this is a great like Facebook group where there are teachers from across the world. Oh, there we go, 12,500 teachers who are sharing what they're doing in their classroom, asking for tips, asking for support. And you can see it's quite well used. We've had 6 new posts today, 150 in the last month. A great little community that you can join. Again, I'll share the link with you in a follow-up email. And then finally, I'm running next year, starting in February, in Australian time zone, a number of different resources, a number of different online sessions. This was the first one today, and then we're looking at getting started with Teacher Academy, exploring some of the other AI tools, looking at assessment and learning, digital citizenship, coding, lots more. So if you're interested in any other training sessions, do sign up and join us live, but every session is going to be recorded and sent out along with resources. So thanks very much for coming to this session for the Hour of Code. And I hope your students have lots and lots of fun and explore some of the other worlds as well. So thanks so much for your time, and look out for that email. Thank you.